welcome to the Southern Illinois and Pigskin Picks alongside Les Winkler. We're heading into week 6, so we're more than halfway home. What'd you think about this past week? I know you got to see,
I actually got to see an uninterrupted game.
Yeah.
I got to see the Terriers and Cahokia slosh it out in the mud. It's kind of surprising we had all those games postponed, but it made for an interesting weekend anyway. Carbondale rebounded after their loss to Centralia like I thought they would. It was a pretty interesting game. Obviously, it was a good time to protect the lead when the field was turned to mush, so that played in their favor. But overall, the games went pretty much as according to plan, I think.
Well, except that Pinckneyville knocks off AJ, who was undefeated, and then Nashville beats Carterville, which puts them in a big hole. So this week will be interesting. Now I think some teams are really getting into must-win territory.
That AJ victory, or the Pinckneyville win over AJ, was absolutely huge. I've been looking at their schedule and their playoff hopes and aspirations, and they needed an upset somewhere along the line, and they've got it. So now, if they can hold serve the rest of the way, the Panthers should make the playoffs.
And now let's get into this week. Mississippi, a big game. DuQuoin 3-2. Coming off a blowout of Sparta and Carterville, now 2-3, and they've still got this game with DuQuoin and Anna Jonesboro on the road. What do you think about this one, Les? Carterville's in a big hole here. They need to win this.
Carterville's in a big hole. They need to win it. Judging by past opponents and what's happened so far this year, though, it's hard to believe that DuQuoin won't win even at Carterville.
And DuQuoin, they lost at home to Carterville last year, and now you see them come back in the playoffs and beat Carterville like 35-0. I'm going to go with DuQuoin too. I think they'll just be too much, but you never know. I mean, Carterville beat them last year when nobody thought they would, so it should be interesting. We'll move along to the Black Diamond. We got El Dorado at Johnston City. The Indians 4-1 now, I believe. El Dorado is coming off. Who did they play this past week?
Fairfield.
Fairfield, nice win there. El Dorado is interesting. They lost some pretty good talent from last year, but they appear. I mean, they're the only team that's given Carmi a good game. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with El Dorado. I saw them play Carmi early in the year. They played Carmi really tough. They've got some interesting. They've got some interesting kids. They got a little bit of size. They've got a little bit of speed. Johnston City's kind of struggled a little bit. I think El Dorado's actually played a tougher part of their schedule already. So just based on that, I'm going to go with El Dorado. I might be totally wrong, but that's what I'm doing.
I'll go with Johnston City. Something tells me we haven't seen their best so far. They've had some games that I think were closer than what we thought, but they've still got quite a bit of talent there, and I'll take them at home. Moving on to the South 7, we've got Althoff. They just fell to Centralia this past week, and now they're going to Marion. In my opinion, I think Althoff's good, but Marion's tough at home, and I think that Marion will just have too much offense for them.
Yeah, it looks like the South 7 is going to come down to Marion and Centralia. This is obviously a big game. Marion has to win this to stay even with Centralia, and who'd have thought we'd be saying that 5 weeks ago? But just again, looking at the past schedule and what everyone's done, I think Marion's going to be just a little bit too strong for Althoff.
And then in the River to River, Ohio, the big game of the night, Heron at Harrisburg. Both teams are 4-1. Heron, just has the one loss to DuQuoin, which was a really close game. Harrisburg's loss was to Marion. What do you think about this one?
This is basically a coin toss. The game is at Harrisburg. You got to give them a little bit of credit for that. Both teams have played very good schedules. It's Harrisburg's at home. I'll go with them.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Heron. I think it's like you said, it's a toss-up. It'll just, because this could be the winner of the conference champion comes out of this game. Heron's already beaten Benton. Harrisburg still has to play them. Benton's got a pretty explosive offense, passing and running. I think Heron might have too much athleticism for him, but Harrisburg's played well this year.
And Harrisburg is a team that just doesn't wow you when you see them play. They just win. They make plays when they have to. They're such a short team. It's almost like watching a junior high team. You look at their roster. They're 5'8", 5'9", 5'8", 5'9", with a couple of 6-footers thrown in there. So I mean, physically they're not overwhelming, but you can't argue with the results.
And then finally in the River to River, Mississippi, we have first place Nashville at 2-0 at Pinckneyville, who's 1-1 in conference. The Panthers lost to Carterville 35-21 and then turned around and beat Anna Jonesboro by a couple touchdowns. I think Pinckneyville, with shooting some of their passing that they've got as well, probably be too tough at home. But I kind of thought Carterville beat Nashville, and that didn't happen. That said, I'll go with Pinckneyville.
Yeah, I think Pinckneyville has to be the favorite here. They're a pretty solid football team. They've got a big offensive line. They've got a big fullback. Like you said, shoots an incredible athlete. So yeah, I think there's just too much there for Nashville to handle.
All right, folks, join us next week for Week 7, and we'll see you then.